India, the jewel of the British Empire. Its history is the equal of any other place on the planet, and its complexity and depth of religion and culture are without par. Since the East India Trade Company set foot on the continent over 200 years ago, the English have slowly gained more power. This is an age of stability and wealth for the company and its shareholders, who exercise near unlimited authority of the jewel, as long as the cheap goods and resources of the vast continent continue to sail home. Notions like GDP do not exist yet, but if they did, ours would be close to that of Britain herself, and still just a small part of what is to come. Yet it is not the Indian people who rule, but the East India Company, the most powerful and wealthy corporation in human history, whose fleets and armies eclipse that of most states. Greed and callousness guide the hand of the company, as its ever-rotating directors each make their small mark on this monolithic structure and vast holdings. Yet things are not what they seem. The people of India grow tired of the subjugation and are planning a great revolt, one which could be the death of colonial rule, or at least the end of the company. We must be careful in the days to come and use our wealth and influence to make the homeland give us the protection we need to rule such a place. This is a Victoria 3 roleplay game. I hope you enjoy. 127 million people, 24.4 literacy rate, very low standard of living. We have a bit of a navy, actually. We have a lot of divisions, of course. We have Charles Newark as the governor. He is direct, and then he's a military commander. He's part of the landowners. Everyone else is really angry and hates us. We have no institutions. Mostly peasants, some laborers, actually a lot of clergy, surprisingly. We have a lot of textile mills. We have furniture manufactories, glassworks. We actually do have a good amount of factories to start off with. We're going to go ahead and up our government wages, our military wages. We will lower our taxation one level. We have a pretty big surplus in government. We're working on arms industry, furniture, coal, and wheat. In terms of our government, let's take a look and see if we can get a new party in charge. We're going to bring the industrialists into our government, and given we're making reforms that make sense. We also have a mutiny potentially about to happen in 4 years. In order to not have that happen, we need to either consolidate colonial rule, or we need to reform India, which we're really close to. We just need to ban slavery, but that's not going to happen, so we're kind of stuck. So I'm just going to basically always roleplay the leader of the industrialists is how we're going to do this, I think. Right now, that is going to be James Eden. So we're going to roleplay James Eden. Oh god, he's bigoted and a diplomat. He's a pacifist. Plutocratic, laissez-faire, individualist, inches of progress. Yeah. So we're going to roleplay the industrialists. We're going to be really elitist. And I mean really elitist. So let's go for landed voting. We're going to be a very elitist kind of India. So there's a big demand for grain, there's a big demand for clothes, and then for coal. We're going to prioritize coal and grain. The rural folk have expressed their concerns about government decisions, clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. I mean, we are, so that's unfortunately the case. Greetings, who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Queen Victoria.
Ah, Your Majesty, it is a great honor to be in your presence. I am James Eaton, a representative of both the East India Trade Company and the industrialists within, and the landowners within the Indian subcontinent. I am here to negotiate with your government regarding a few interests that we currently have. I hope this is a good time.
This is a really good time.
I'm glad to hear that. Given the current state of India, now that we have, for your majesty's government, of course, secured the boundaries of the East India Trade Company and the subcontinent, we are looking to focus inward and industrialize the region for more economic and basic good outputs, of course, to benefit the British Empire's markets. However, the taxes that you are currently levying upon the East India Trade Company are, as I'm sure you're aware, very high, and we are seeking a mannerism to offset this inconvenience to my government and the industrialist ability to expand our economic outputs within India.
Of course, Mr. Governor Charles. Oh, Eaton.
Oh, no. Governor Charles, he's a good man, but if we're being honest, the industrialists have the true power in the company. I'm sure you understand.
Ah, yes, of course, of course.
He doesn't move the money, he just enforces the will of your Majesty's government in regards to any rebels and such forth. It is the wealthy men of England and the company who oversee the day-to-day operations.
You are aware you're speaking with the Queen?
Of course, Your Majesty.
The tongue is a little bit, how should I say, a little bit aggressive. But
Well,
I can understand.
I do not wish to tiptoe. Your Majesty is, of course, forever my under sovereign. But that is not to say that I will not speak things how they are. The governor in India respects this. I had heard you are a woman who also did not wish to have a veil of a manure over one's true words.
Of course. I mean, we have in England we have the right to speak whatever, to raise some criticism. But to get to the point, back to the point, the British Crown would be willing to offset the draconian taxes.
Very well. I'm glad that we could reach an understanding in regards to this. I also would like to formally request that Your Majesty's government, when she has the time, look into the possibility of potentially pushing out the French and Spanish holdings within the Indian subcontinent, as they do offset many of our own industries in the region. I'm sure you would not want Spanish and French entrepreneurs and businessmen taking hard-earned English capital reinvested for Her Majesty's pleasure, of course.
That's not. We are also concerned about the French treaty port in East India.
Oh, that is entirely what we speak of. It is a very worrying thing to have in Pondicherry, as well as the Spanish control in Goa. These are great cities of the company that should rightfully be under English control.
And I will speak with the French and with the Portuguese actually as well. I want those influences out of, or Spanish I should say. I want those influences out of India, as this is, as you may know, India is our crown jewel. And I don't want any business there from other nations, especially
I'm
from
glad
France.
to hear that. I hope when Your Majesty does have the time, you will look into that.
I thank you for your visit, Mr. Heaton.
Of course. It is an honor to have been in your presence to discuss with you. I am sure that your choice here will lead to more prosperity for the British Empire. The jewel is always at your command. Your Majesty, we give you a good day. Well, okay, we have a very friendly Britain, so we're gonna basically just stay loyal and work with them. Then is what we'll do. We're gonna promote the industrialists, or bolster, I should say. And all right, we have more construction capacity. We can do a lot right now. In regards to the market and things we need to prioritize, we're gonna work primarily on grain. Let's see how quickly we destroy the fertilizer surplus of the British Empire. Probably very quickly. Then again, they might have a lot of chemical plants that just aren't profitable. So if anything, we might be boosting the British economy by making their chemical plants more profitable. We barely need a dent in that grain. We're gonna need a lot more farms. I mean, a lot more farms. Time to build some steel mines. We're gonna become the steel exporter to the British Empire, and then we're gonna build some motor industries too. Oh man. The manufacture of steam engines has become a profitable industry in Andhra thanks to our sound investments in locomotive technology. These engines are already being employed across new East India Company railway lines. We'll do private schools. That makes sense. We're very oligarchical. We're not going to do public education, so we'll do private schools. The company is administering things very well. There's the mutiny. We're gonna lose this Hindustan, so I can't do that. He's got a revolt. We need to send an ambassador to the British. Yeah, we may struggle here a little bit. We've got all the... No, we're winning. We have all our allies. We're gonna defeat them. Well, we are fighting on our own. We asked the government in Britain for aid, and they didn't send it. They couldn't send it because of game mechanics, but we're gonna roleplay that they didn't help us, so that will definitely change things. We won it. The rule of the East India Company has ended, and the British government will now take a greater role in Indian affairs. History shall mark this day as the inception of the British Raj. As long as we rule India, we are the greatest power in the world. If we lose it, we shall drop straight away to a third-rate power. Only through despotic methods can we extract from India what the empire requires. The company is over, but the empire lives on.
Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings. Am I speaking with Mr. Heaton or Mr. Newrock?
Mr. Eden, as always.
I see.
I
see
assume
that
you wish to speak with the real powers in the Raj, not just the appointed governor.
Yes.
Very well.
Well, I just received word that the British Raj formed and that you crushed the Hindustan revolt.
We did deal with them. I must say it was very disappointing not to see British troops there assisting the garrisons we had maintained. We were able to defeat them, but without any help from the motherland.
Ah, yes, I understand your sentiment, but the Empire is occupied in a lot of things right now. The French, you have to understand, the French are a major threat right now. The Germans.
They will always be a threat, but as many would say, without the jewel, things would be very complicated for the Empire. Regardless, it is water under the bridge. We will move forward, but I hope you understand, despite you removing the company itself from power in the Raj, that your governor will only exert as much influence as we choose to give him. I hope this is well understood.
This is well understood.
Good. As long as the company's interests are maintained, you may call this whatever you like.
Alright. I wish you a pleasant day then. Disappointing.
You as well.
Thank you.
Not a significant producer of... We're the #1 producer of opium. Look at that. Oh my god. We're definitely going to export more opium in the future, but... Claiming that the nectar of private schools would affect the country's Bengali inhabitants disproportionately negative way, Bengali firebrands have riled their communities against the current law proposal. James Eden, us, has offered to spend some of their personal wealth to fund a university in Orissa, though this will likely give the industrialists more influence. Given that we are James Eden, we're going to go ahead and agree with that. Greetings.
Hello. This is a diplomat of Great Britain.
Welcome, Ambassador.
Great Britain. Yep, thank you. We have just reached a deal with the French to they relinquish the treaty port in Madras, and it's now under control of the British Raj again.
We did. We were notified of that, and we were very glad to see that the British Crown is honoring their promises and ensuring that the Raj, so to speak, is able to retain those areas. We're very glad to see that.
I'd like to say though, this type of diplomatic maneuvering was really hard. It was close to war with the French, but both sides thankfully backed down and found a diplomatic agreement on this.
We're very glad to hear that, and the company will, of course, remember your actions.
Right. Just make sure that the high-ups in the British Raj do know of this.
Of course. We're very glad to see that you did honor this and ensured that the French are no longer competitive within our own markets.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
You as well, Ambassador. Safe travels.
Thank you.
We have 148,000 capitalists in our country, which is adding to our investment pool. We are going to work on probably private healthcare. We actually passed the professional army. Wow. That's cool. With the calls for some form of healthcare system, many are questioning where the money for setting up the new healthcare system will come from. Some are suggesting simply taking it out of the tax funds, while others insist the government should find another way to cover the costs. We'll build up the steel plants of Bombay and Delhi, and then we'll build some in South Bengal too. We are going to become the steel hub of the British Empire.
I'm speaking with Mr. Eaton again.
You are. I'm currently entertaining a diplomat from Morocco, but what can I do for you?
Oh, I was just simply asking. I got requests from many of our trade partners to ask you, to ask the British Raj, to produce more dye so we can export more.
That is not something that the company is presently interested in, as it is not very profitable to our investors.
I've gotten Austrian requests though.
I understand, but the company will always prioritize its profits in the Raj. You're welcome to dictate that the governor does this, but as you know, he has very limited economic resources.
I guess there's nothing I can do then.
You're here.
Nothing explicitly comes to mind here. I mean, the company is the richest corporation on the planet and has resources that are well beyond the need for any specific deals.
And I also do question why they didn't come to the company directly. No disrespect meant to Her Majesty, but I find it strange that they would not approach the company directly if they are asking for such things.
No idea. You have to ask King Hubstock the question. He just
Well,
came
to
to
put
me.
it simply, his request is denied.
All right. I will relay the message then.
Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton.
The company doesn't technically exist on the map. The Raj is ruling things. However, we are role-playing the industrialists in the company. So although the company doesn't control land, it still exists as an economic entity, and they are almost entirely separated in many ways. I mean, like the British, the crown has a lot of power in it, and a lot of, like, they get a lot of money out of it. But there's also a lot of just individual vested interests which have huge power. So in the Raj, basically, the governor only has powers of policing and the military. Economically, he's really kind of at the whim of the company, is how we're going to do this. Despite not enjoying full rights under the Anglo-Indian law, some wealthier... Oh, we got private health insurance. Nice. Some wealthier Kannada people have begun moving to neighborhoods and frequently establishments we've been normally excluded from. He's not bigoted anymore, so we're actually going to allow them to do that.